The first property I bought was a $600,000 deal.
Okay.
And the bank's like, hey, we don't know you. You're really young. What do you know about properties? I'm like, I have cash. I don't see anybody else buying it. I'm like, what I need from you, though, is to be able to give me the money to finish the improvements of the property that weren't done.
Okay.
And I'll give you $250,000 down. So I bet my entire...
Wow, you went all in.
All in on it.
Oh, man.
Everything. Every
Okay.
dollar I had, every single penny of my entire life. But I had known that I could lease the space up. And the reason, because of this, is I use my hustler mentality in the shoe business. I want to start knocking on all the doors of the properties around me. And I'm like, hey, what rent are you paying per square foot? And this person's like, I'm paying $30 a foot, $33 a foot, $37 a foot. My pro forma, or the numbers that I need to hit to be wildly successful, were $21 a square foot. Okay. So it was almost 50% less of the market. Wow. So I started asking those tenants, I'm like, hey, if I pay for your relocation costs, will you come to my building? Because I only had to lease up 2 spaces.
Okay.
And like, yeah, of course, if you drop my rent in half, naturally, right? Like, why wouldn't you want to move to drop your rent in half for a similar product? And guess what? I'm going to make it pretty. I'm going to make it look good. I'm going to take that, that property management experience to give you a nice product up front versus saying, oh yeah, it'll look good, don't worry. Okay. So I put my money where my mouth is. I ended up leasing the 2 spaces in the first 90 days. I crushed it. Wow. Just that mentality of just going and knocking on doors and being that hustler got me the tenants I needed. I ended up flipping that same property for over $2 million within 18 years. I became a millionaire overnight.
Wow.
Overnight.
And this was residential or retail?
It was a retail property.
Okay.
Yeah, it was a retail property.
90 days you flip it?
No, I filled it in 90 days for 1031 reasons, or there's a big thing, I don't know if your followers know real estate much, but if you do 1031 exchange, which is a tax-deferred exchange, all the money you make in the property, you have to pay no taxes as long as you buy a property that's equal or greater value. Wow. So that's one way to massively grow your net worth, because you're not paying 30-40% tax every single time you sell an asset.
Is that countrywide?
Countrywide.
Wow.
Yeah, but there's rules. Like you have to identify a replacement property in 45 days, and then you have to buy the property within 180 days. Okay. So there's rules to it. You have to be really good at it.
And you said you flip it. How long did that take to flip it?
It's like 18 months.
Wow. Was that the plan though? Did you want to keep it or did you want to flip right off?
Always flip. Always flip. I don't believe in the mentality of hold the property and refi and max leverage and that mentality you're hearing everywhere on social media.
The part about paying them to relocate was super interesting to me. Like you're paying them to move. Yeah. How much did you have to pay them?
Talking like 20, 30,000 per tenant.
To 2 people.
Yeah, but like think about it. Back then, people were dying to even keep their loans afloat. True. So no one really had fresh capital. No one was really thinking about moving tenants or tenant improvement allowances or beautifying properties. People at that point, 08, 09, were like, the fucking world's falling. How do I survive? Yeah. And I'm like this young, inexperienced, and again, me being young and inexperienced was actually a blessing at the time. Yeah. Because if I was myself today in that same experience, I'd be like, yep, done buying. Are you fucking crazy? The world's falling apart. You want to go buy something? So my immaturity at the time was actually a blessing. Wow. Yeah, so I loved it.
Okay, so you sell it, and you're like, okay, I like the retail game.
Well, I partied a little bit, drank a lot, got a little nuts. Yeah, because
because that's like your first big payday.
Dude, you're in your young 20s and you're a millionaire.
What'd you do?
I partied a lot, drank a lot, partied a lot, drank a lot.
Did you buy anything like extravagant or?
I leased a M6, I think, a BMW M6 at the time.
Nice, that's a fast car.
Yeah, it was a fast car. I love cars back then, and I got a car, never a watch, I never cared about those things because what I told myself, and this is the problem, that money's not liquid to you. True. So when it's in a 1031 exchange, it sits in an account, you can't touch it, and you have to buy another property. Yeah. So you don't really have the money. You're paper rich, but your bank account poor.
Now with that part of keeping the money in so you don't get taxed on it,
yeah.
What was your game plan there? Was it like, okay, I'm just going to forever keep my money there? Or was it like, okay, I'm going to wait till a payday like this and then finally pull it out?
Let's put it this way. 17 years later, I'm still doing the same damn thing.
Wow. You're still there too?
No, I'm keep 1031ing the properties.
But I'm saying in Atlanta too?
No, it's gone. So yeah, once you 1031, that means the property's sold and then it's on to the next deal.
But I'm saying, did you want a new deal in Atlanta?
Yeah, so I ended up buying 2 more deals in Atlanta after that deal. Okay. So I started slowly but surely expanding into what I call secondary or tertiary markets. Cool. So instead of going to like the main and main of Miami or the main and main of Chicago or New York, it's like suburb of Atlanta, suburb of Milwaukee, of Houston. So all these smaller markets with a lot less competition. And at one point, I had properties in almost 15 to 16 states.
Wow.
So it was like all these small little $1 million deal, $2 million deal, $3 million deal.
And what's life like? Are you still living back at home and then traveling?
I was living on a Southwest plane for 75% of my week.
So you're just going everywhere you need to.
I was between Holiday Inns and Southwest planes, and like again, this is something that's really important for a lot of people to understand. Even though I was rich on paper, I couldn't use the money. So I was still thinking, I got to save a nickel here, I got to save $1 here. Like
I'm not broke mentality.
Yeah, I'm not flying first class. Yeah. I don't want to pay for hotels, so let me take a red eye. That way I save on hotel costs. Like there's all these things at the time that like I'm on paper rich, but I could lose this tomorrow.
I think it was better off that you had it that way.
100%.
Rather than, oh, here's the money.
1,000%, because it's like your financial advisor, your daddy saying, you're rich, but you can't touch it, asshole.
Literally.
It's like, because if I had it, like imagine you're in your young 20s, you have $1.5 million cash.
Yes.
You're going fucking nuts.
Yes.
So like, I was like, okay, it was the best restraint I could ever have in my entire life.